stop recording. You just put.
This, and I'm presenting the speech on the death of Martin Luther King by Robert F. Kennedy. He delivered this speech on April 4th, 1968. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only going to talk to you for just a minute or so this evening because I have some very sad news for all of you, and I think sad news for all of fellow citizens and people who love peace all over the world. That is, Martin Luther King shot and was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love, to justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it's perhaps well to ask, what kind of nation we are, and what direction we want to move in. Those of you who are black, considering the evidence, evidently as there were white people who were responsible. You can be filled with bitterness and with hatred and desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country, in greater polarization, black people amongst blacks, and white people amongst whites, filled with hatred towards one another. Or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and comprehend and replace that violence, that stain of bloodshed that is spread across our land, with an effort to understand passion and love. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and the mistrust and the injustice of such an act against all white people, I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart the same kind of thing. I had him in my family, but he was killed by white people. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to get beyond these rather difficult times. My favorite poet was Achilles. He once wrote, even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until, in our own despair, against our will comes wisdom through the awful grace of God. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion towards one another, and a feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black. So I ask you tonight to return home, to say a prayer for the family of Martin Luther King. Yeah, that's true. But more importantly, to say a prayer for our own country, which all of us love. A prayer for understanding and that compassion of which I spoke. We can do well as a country. We will have difficult times. We've had difficult times in the past, and we will have difficult times in the future. It is not the end of violence. It is not the end of lawlessness, and it is not the end of disorder. But the vast majority of white people and the vast majority of black people in our country want to live together, want to improve the quality of our life, and want justice for all human beings that divide in our land. Let us dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savages in man, and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that.